Do not adjust your television set. Do not adjust your phone. Do not adjust your iPad or your computer. Yes, the new Blurt Order is live on a Friday night just to talk about a couple things in preparation for our little gig tomorrow. So I hope y'all is down for the ride. As you already know, I am your boy, the real Vince Taylor. We joined by Nolly. We joined by Bad Ty as well as Good Ty. And it's the new Blurred Order. Let's talk some of this nerd stuff. Let's start off with Last of Us finale, get on the Mandalorian, talk some Shazam. And oh man, we just lost a real one. And we'll talk about that a little bit as well. Don't go nowhere. This is the new Blurred Order. Let's
I
kick it.
love the new Blurred Order. You should too.
Whoa.
Let me get all this 10p Wayne. All the niggas rapping about the same old thing. I've been coming through with the same old game. Ain't shit changed except nine got a name. Got it out the mud but we got no stains. Cold ass lizard with a gold ass chain. The girl call me daddy, not my government name. Money on my mind, got them bands on my brain. Let me tell y'all about a nigga I know. The nigga stay clean so he always got hoes. Light skinny bitches like.
First of all, she was snubbed. It's a fact. Ain't up for debate. So let's just go ahead and move on about that. We know that she should have won. It's fucked up. And they gave this goddamn award to Jamie Lee only because she ain't never won nothing. And I truly believe that they gave it to her because they thought that Angela had won enough awards already. That's my 2 cents. We could talk about it if you want, but people don't be mad at her because she's reacting. Be mad at the fact that they feel like they have to pander to somebody just because they like to star in Halloween movies their whole life and don't actually do shit in real life. Hey, look, I'm gonna call it like it is. I don't give a fuck. I ain't planning on working with Jamie Lee. We loved you before, but shit, goddamn it, this ain't Friday the 13th. Goddamn it, I don't even remember her part. Shit, but I will give it up at least for Michelle Yeoh. She did that. She deserved that. And goddamn it, why is this the first time somebody of your race, of your nationality, of your creed, of your group gets an award like that? That should not. I mean, celebrate it. Yeah, we get it, but damn, it's fucked up that it came to that. You know what I'm saying? You know, this dude got an award too, and all he had to do was be himself. Oh, I'm so fucked up. All right, my bad.
He is one of the 5 whites we do not touch.
All right. I know he's good people, and I know he's got his he's got a neurotypical family members, so I don't want to roast him on that. But the real reason I wanted to talk, first of all, thank y'all for pulling up. For those of y'all who are, thank y'all for watching on the replay. The replay be pulling up, man. If you're watching on the replay, thank y'all for pulling up. Yeah, man, it is a whole new day. If you are watching us live, then make sure you tune in tomorrow morning because we just wrapped up a pre-recorded session with the homie Jill Kimmel, who actually was at the Oscar. Oh shit, was was at the Oscars. How Freudian is that slip, man? And she was talking to us about what it's like to be at the Oscars, what it's like to be the sister of somebody who's doing big things and not take advantage of it to the point where it's abusing that, and what it's like to have people in the industry, including her was it nephew, I believe it was her nephew, who actually is in or was in the Mandalorian first episode, like in the first few minutes. Come on, pull on up. Yeah, I'm sorry, I had to keep it bloody raw. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. If you're watching us in the Facebook group, go ahead and pull up to the title and the link and join us on YouTube so we can see your name because the group is private. We want to know who you is, so we don't talk to you as Facebook user because that's what it says. But we really wanted to talk here real quick because we didn't get to discuss in length some of the stuff we wanted to talk about with Jill, because Jill was nice and she gave us the tea on what it meant to be at the Oscars, but she didn't really know as much about The Last of Us. She didn't really know as much about Mandalorian, even though she knows some of her family members star in it. So we did want to at least give the justice of providing our insight commentary on not only the Mandalorian final last episode, but also on the Last of Us finale, which I'm just going to go ahead and start right there. I'm going to put this picture up, and I just want y'all to give me thumbs up or thumbs down if you loved it, thumbs up if you didn't, thumbs down. If it's mid, give me that halfway signal. I'm going to take us down in 3, 2, 1. Hey, yeah, man. 2 thumbs. Tyrone, 2 thumbs up?
Yeah, it was a great episode. The whole season was great. And I mean, I may not agree with the choices that were made or by a bunch of different people, but it was done well. It was acted beautifully. There were some moments in there that definitely get you in the feels and stuff. So Without a doubt, I would say this season hit pretty hard. I do think that I wish they would have waited on announcing season two, so that moment might have landed harder at the end. But we know we got more coming, so it's going to be exciting.
That's a good point. Did they announce it or was it leaked?
Oh, it was one of those things that was announced like a few weeks back. I think it was after like maybe the second week or something. They were like, season two is already in progress, and all that kind of thing. So yeah, they like to jump on that shit.
I feel you. You're right. It would have been a monumental moment to have announced it after everybody begged for it to kind of make it feel
Yeah.
like, oh well, since you forced us, if you
Mhm.
insist, and to already be halfway through production. Ty, you liked it too, homeboy. I saw you put one slow thumb up. Were you not necessarily really impressed with it, or was it as dope to you as it was to us?
I mean, to be honest, like I haven't played the video games, so
Right.
I didn't know what the story was gonna entail until I actually watched it. So when I watched it, I was like the first, I guess maybe 10 minutes, I was very annoyed with uh Pedro Pascal. I was very annoyed with him. I was like, I saw what they did, but I was like, damn, he's annoying. But I mean, he's like reversing roles in that moment with Ellie. So Ellie's the more quiet, like almost like when they first met. When they first met. So it's like he's playing the annoying version of her, and she's playing him. But it's not. It's all because of what happened in the episode prior. But I was very annoyed with him for the first 10 minutes, and then it got real. And once it got real. And I was like, "Yo, where has this been the whole season?" Because if you just gave me this for the whole season, I would have been over here screaming from the rooftops like this is the best thing I've ever seen before in my life. And hello, John Wick. That's coming. There's a new sheriff in town, and his name's Joel.
Fuck yeah.
So you might want to watch out for that guy when he has something that he wants. So yeah, I enjoyed the second half of the episode for sure. It was beautiful all the way to the end.
Nolly, your thoughts?
I loved it. I played the game, so I had
Same.
high expectations. They met all of them. I was a little worried because the runtime was shorter than most of the other episodes. It was only 44 minutes. And I was like, how are they going to, there's so much game left. How are they going to fit it? But they fit the most important parts, and that's what mattered. Like, the hospital scene was great. I was here for the fucking giraffes. I see you, Biddle. Giraffes. And it was just good. It was so good. And I loved the way they ended it. And I cannot wait for the next season.
So I have questions for you, and I don't mind video game spoilers. I am in the middle of playing the game, so I'm all for it, and I want to hear. I don't even mind because I got a feeling that by the time season two comes out, I will be midway through, if not have beat the second game. So I'm here for the spoilers if you want to drop them.
That
But
shit
I
is
am curious. You know, Ty. I know Ty and I. We both like to watch the entire episode, meaning not, after the credits, they'll show the after part and they'll kind of give some insight as to the things that happened on the show. And one of the things they said on the last episode, which I thought was so dope, was they was like, yo, normally, the hero comes in and he bursts in and he saves the girl. And he's like, we were having none of that. And I was like, I fucks with y'all. I fucks with y'all. And on this one, they said something like, I think it was like, well, in this episode, you know, they really were trying to stay true to the game. A lot of it was adopted directly from the game, and I was really curious as to how closely Nolly the game. And I mean, we talked about this a little bit on the show, so make sure everybody who's watching, make sure y'all tune in tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. We're going to be discussing this again as well. In depth, man, it was a great show with Jimmy Kimmel's sister. She was phenomenal. So tune in tomorrow. But how does this scale again in terms of source material from the game? Is it point by point? And also, I'm wondering from you if the scene where Joel goes as Ty calls him John Wick, if that scene was like a scene in the video game where Like it's like the all out. Oh shit! I've gathered all my guns. It's time for me to unlock these achievements. Is it like a significant part of the game that is hard as fuck to beat? Because I don't see no clickers. It's just all man on man action.
Oh,
So it didn't look like there's too much stealth going on in that mode.
what's funny is playing the game during that part. There is like you need to be careful. You need to stealth behind some stuff, and I'm not good at stealth. I'm very much like the game will be like, okay, let's sneak around, and I walk in, boom, sup, every time. I'm just not good at it. Not good. But it was just like the game, except for the part where they left out that you die like 11 times trying to get to the damn
Yeah, you said.
and then 11 times carrying her out the damn operating room. Okay, because I'm pretty sure the game had way more men than that. He had it easy. He was playing on easy mode, but I still give him kudos because he got through it. But it was just like the fucking game. I had the same amount of anxiety. It was good. It was good.
Tyrone, it really felt in that last scene when Joel went Rambo. I felt like I was playing a video game. There was a few moments where it felt like I had a controller and I decided it's time to, rack up on some ammo. Like literally, like I'm not saying that as like a joke. You saw the moment where he took the gun from the dude who was on the floor. That's game shit. That's game shit. You know what I'm saying? When he's reloading, like those little moments.
They're missing a bunch and he can't miss. Yeah.
Right. Even the points where he's like shooting from afar while people are running. You know what I'm saying? And you literally see that as a video game because in the game and even most games, you're one amongst many, right? That doesn't happen. I mean, yeah, it happens in movies, but this show hasn't depicted that yet. It's always been like him and Ellie or him and Tess. You know what I'm saying? And this is the only time where he's legit went gung ho all solo and just ate like for just 5 minutes on screen, just eating it straight up, like Ty says, John Wick style.
Yeah, no, I think the thing that stood out for me the most on it in that moment was like he went dead eyes. Like obviously they played it like he kind of just went somewhere else and was just going through these people like they meant nothing. But yeah, it was exactly like a video game would be, where just you're one shotting folks and they're you got all kinds of people shooting at you and nobody can hit you for whatever reason, but you're gonna just blast everybody you come in contact with. Definitely video game stuff, and they made it work though.
He had better aim than he does in the Mandalorian.
What's up, Ty?
I mean, can we talk about how he was shooting people that wasn't shooting at him? I mean,
right.
It's like, anybody who got in the way, really, right? Like it was like at points in the whole situation, like when he's walking through there just killing people. I think one dude gave up.
Yes.
Put his gun down, was like, "Yo, I don't want no problems." Yeah. He was like, okay, and he seemed like he was gonna walk off and shot my man, like bang.
Yeah.
He shot the doctor. He was shooting anybody who got in his way, basically.
Yeah, man, and that's what I liked about it. Honestly, the unpredictability of it. You almost if you didn't play the game. Which all of us who didn't play the game all the way to to the end yet, we just lost Tess in my game. You don't really know what's really going to happen. Like there was a moment, if I will, like when he's walking down the steps and he's being led by the Fireflies, and you're kind of like, he keeps stalling and stopping and shit. And you're like, okay, what the fuck is he about to do? What is he, because he's cornered, and at one point I was like, well, the dude's walking way too close. So he's obviously going to grab the gun and turn around and do some superhero shit. But then I was like, but it's two of them, I don't know. Maybe he can't. And so he hesitated the first time. And I was like, all right, well, maybe he ain't going to do that. And then he hesitated the second time and boom, boom. And he did it so well. Like I legit felt sorry for the Fireflies. I was like, damn, they wasn't ready. They were legit wasn't ready, Nolly. Like the dude that surrendered, I felt bad for him. I was like, what else do you do in that moment? Like you're gonna go head to head with Keanu Reeves when he's downloaded every Western into the Matrix and he's holding the gun he had wasn't even like a legit gun. It had masking tape around it and shit. It had like duct tape, and he dropped it. And that's when I was like, "Oh, they played. This is gameplay.
They
This is
gave him
gameplay."
they gave him the
This
last
motherfucker
gun.
just re-upped.
Mhm.
He's gathering ammo right now. You know what I'm saying, Nolly? I mean, what the fuck, bruh? I mean,
That shit was wild. I was here for it. Ugh.
so
I was
I,
like, "Go out."
all right. So, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was waiting. I was like, he walking a little too slow. And then he got down one flight of stairs. I was like, that's too many stairs. We should have been turned around by now.
All right. Well, we all agree that that last scene was complete badass. I mean, it's Neo when he walks into the museum with the
Mhm.
rest of the clique from Morpheus Squad, with the trench coat and Trinity and all the guns in the world. But before that, the part that led up to it was the camaraderie between him after learning that basically little Ellie had to go full like Jack the Ripper on that dude that fucked her up last episode, and basically this is now a time in which he as officially as of episode 8 literally has adopted her as his daughter adoptedly, and that I think is the moment. There are some integral parts that occurred in this show that I think are overlooked because that final scene was so dope. And one of them, in my opinion, is the point where he sat with Ellie and basically told her that he tried to kill himself. He didn't see the value in his life. She had been asking from the get, like, yo, what's that scar on your head? Which I thought wasn't, I had never seen it. I kept looking. I guess it's on his ear. It's on his ear or
It's like
something.
right temple like area, like right above there. Yeah.
Yeah, I never really saw it. It wasn't really that prominent, but she kept asking him about that scar or whatever it was, and he kept avoiding the answer because I guess he felt like it wasn't really enough, of a bond between the two of them for him to be that personal. But what he ends up revealing, Tyrone, is that after he lost his daughter Sarah, he didn't see no point in living. He was like, well, if to quote Bill, she was his purpose. What was the point of living without his baby girl? The question I have, Tyrone, is did he miss on purpose or did he really flinch?
I think it was a subconscious thing for him based on the way he was talking about it. It was just kind of like, he thought he wanted it, maybe he didn't really want it, and that's why he missed. That's why he flinched, and then just the moment, he got to kind of see that moment in Ellie a little bit, where it's like, okay, you've reached your bottom now. You have something has happened to you that has changed you so much that you don't even know how to move forward. So that was actually my favorite scene in the episode, was them sitting down having that conversation, and then kind of realizing that both of them are the other's kind of reason to move forward. I thought that was a beautiful scene.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that I think is paramount to this show. Which frankly, for me to you, bad Ty, um, was not what I was expecting, and honestly, it wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to see Resident Evil on crack. I wanted to see zombies every episode with badass guns. I wanted to see blade style guns, blade style fight with a bunch of zombies. And what it turned out to be was like This Is Us meets Resident Evil, where they try to make you die. They make you cry at the end of every, you know, you know what I'm saying? Jack comes out, and you know what the best thing about this is, and just it. And so I think, have we been putting too much time have you been putting too much emphasis on the necessity of violence and gore and action to the point where we didn't realize that it doesn't necessarily take a bunch of violence, gore, and action to make a good show, which we did learn in Walking Dead. They did a good job of this as well. But the heart, that's really what makes a good video game adaptation a good one, rather than a screen by screen, shot by shot, Resident Evil Raccoon City type of adaptation.
I mean, that's one way you could look at it. I mean, but having Pedro Pascal's dub won't hurt your cause, you know, if that's the case. Either way, but I mean, it's one of those things where this show already had pretty much the foundation already built, and it's very it's very pleasant to see when directors understand that they can just use a lot of the content that has already been presented rather than just totally just discount it or disregard it, like some companies do sometimes. um we won't say no names. But I really feel like with this whole entire show, we wanted to see that because you're led to believe that it's going to be a horror,
Right.
horror type, feel and genre. So when you get this, what we've gotten, which is more of a drama than a horror, it's one of those things that I don't think it's a unpleasant surprise, but in this case, I would say it's a pleasant surprise because just the acting all around has just been superb. Bella, who I kind of despised from day
Ellie.
one. Yeah, Bella Ramsey. Bella who's
Okay.
Ellie.
I thought you.
Ellie,
Okay, yeah, my bad.
Bella Ramsey, who plays Ellie, um is phenomenal. Like, she really showed me a whole lot of range throughout this whole series. Like, I wasn't really ready for what I've been able to get out of her, and so I want to give her her flowers, because she deserved it, because I was on her ass from the beginning, but she kind of turned me around about old Ellie. I'm feeling Ellie, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I love the show, man. I think all around it turned out to be exactly what we needed.
Mm. Uh, well, in addition to that, the whole thing came to a head when we finally, as Nolly said, as him, her, and Biddle, shout out to Biddle wherever he is right now, probably educating somebody, demanded to see these goddamn giraffes. I'm assuming that when you get to these giraffes in the game, it's something special. There's some. I mean, what's the big deal here, Nolly? Why? I mean, I was on the show with y'all last weekend. We talked about the giraffe. So when I saw him, it was kind of spoiled, but it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't like an integral part of the show. But like, what's the significance of the game? Like of getting to the giraffes? Like, is it what? Why do gamers love that part so much?
So the whole game is fucked up the whole entire time. Like, everyone's dying. You got zombies. Like, it's a hot mess. So when you finally get to the area where the hospital is, and you get out of the tunnel that you just fucking fought for your life in, by the way, traumatized as fuck, you come out and it pans over the area, and it's so nice. It's so quiet. It's like everything's overgrown. And all of a sudden you see a herd of fucking giraffes. And it's like the prettiest little thing of, like, it's like that moment of, look at nature taking shit back. Like, not everything is bad in the world. Like, that it's a little crumb of, here, have some nice things before we just wreck your life again. Kind of
Yeah, it gave me Jurassic Park vibes.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? It gave me Jurassic Park. It's a herbivore. He doesn't bite. Yeah. It's a Vegisaurus Rex. Vegisaurus Lex. You know what I'm saying? And then he gets sneezed on, and
Yep.
she just Brachiosaurus. I read the books. We could do Michael Crichton shit all day. I fucks with Michael Crichton.
Jesus Christ.
But I thought that moment kind of ushered in. There's this solemn sense that comes after that where they realize when they see the giraffes. For me, it represented the end of their journey. Like we made it. We're here to deliver the cargo, so to speak. And that's when they kind of had that little heart to heart and was like, yo, so after this, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna, go have a ranch and sheep and all that other shit. And then she kind of reveals, like, nah, man, wherever you go, I'm fucking with you. I fucks with you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know. You blame me for getting your girl killed and shit, but ever since we done bonded and we done killed niggas together and shit, like, yo, I fucks with you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And just after this, let's see where the fuck we go. Let's fuck with it. And I think in that moment, I think what's significant about that moment, Tyrone, is that at that moment, I think he once again, even though this had been happening since the episode before, had once again found purpose in life, right? Like he had revitalized his sense of purpose, because up until she had to fend off, this freaking pedo bear and shit. Sorry for the bad segue. He hadn't really had those kind of emotions. I mean, he was clenching to her, protective of her. Yeah, he felt bad when she had to kill somebody, and yeah, he felt bad that she had to kill, and all of that. But Tyrone, up until she said to him, "I'll follow you anywhere," I don't think that I think because even before that, he's like, "All right, we're here. I'm gonna go drop you off, back to your family. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go over here by my brother and just see what the fuck happens." But she made it clear, Tyrone. She was like, "Nah, B, I fucks with you. Where you go, I will follow," type shit. And I think that was what made the rest of this, everything that happened after that, make sense, right?
Well, I read it a little bit differently because I think they had that moment when when they were at where Tommy was, and he was like, "All right, you could take her and whatever." And I think at that moment he was like, "Oh shit, okay, this is a thing that's going to be a thing until the end of this."
True.
I think with this episode, I think it was more the finality of it. Like, okay, the journey is over, so now what keeps us going forward? And then when Marlene told him there is no going forward, he was like, nope, absolutely not. And that was when he decided, okay, this journey's not going to end. Like whatever happens forward, whatever happens moving forward, it's going to be me and Ellie. It's going to be us two together, fighting whoever, running from whoever, but it's going to be us together. And he was not going to let that moment pass him by. Before that, there was hope. There was, whether it be false hope or something that they kind of invented themselves, there was hope that they would be able to continue on. Just get the little vaccine done and then bounce. Once that was off the table, he was like, nope, not gonna work out.
I take a little bit of I disagree with you a little bit on that. I do agree with you that that's kind of where the bonding began. And he began to kind of, to develop the post-cargo-esque symbiotic relationship that they embodied afterwards. But it was still him giving her the option. He was like, look, do you want to go my man? Or do you want to? She's like, let's go. You know what I'm saying? It was still more her to him, not him to her. You know what I'm saying? I felt like in that episode, it was more a matter of, look, man, all right, man, fine. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, all right, cool, fine. I fucks with you. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't up until I think she whispered in his ear, yo, these some motherfuckers coming, take this knife and kill every last one of theirs. And then he realized, oh shit, this chick just saved my fucking life. And then he went to go hunt for her. You know what I'm saying? And that scene was badass as fuck too. We didn't really get a chance to talk about that. Like the motherfucker, when he killed the dude and the dude was like, no! He's like, dude, I'm not telling you shit. He's like, oh, that's all good. I believe him. That shit was badass, bro. Pedro, oh my God. Yo, I was like, I would tell y'all, like, I watch this shit laying down. And every time some shit happens, I'll be like, what? Like when I go vertical, bitch, some shit's happening. So yo, I hear what you're saying. I do think that there was a moment when they were back in that village with Tommy and them, where he was kind of like, yeah, all right, I guess I fucks with you. It's cool. Yeah, we'll go do the thing. We'll do the thing with the thing, and we'll keep it moving. But then when he got shot or stabbed, excuse me, and then she had to basically nurse him back to health, had to go out there, get on a horse. Like, this chick is like 5'1", and she has to mount a horse and get chased and basically sacrificed herself to save him. And I think I think he recognized that. He's like, yo, this chick is a real one. Like, she's putting up for me. This is the closest thing to little Sarah that I've had. And I mean, I'm realizing that now. I think, yeah, he started to catch feelings, but it wasn't until he realized, oh shit, you mean she's not gonna be around no more? The fuck you mean? What the fuck is you talking about? Like, y'all are gonna kill this chick? Like, that's how we getting down? We doing it like that? I think that was when it really sunk in. And he was like, wait a minute, chick just gave me purpose when she said, I'll follow you anywhere. Because remember, he was about to leave her, Ty.
Yeah.
That time he was about to leave her. He felt like, look, mission accomplished. And it just turned out he wasn't willing to lose his purpose, even if it meant keeping the world in chaos.
Yeah, I feel like that's a little misrepresented. Because it wasn't so much about the leaving, as it was his failing health. He was like, he started to feel things and feel as though he was inadequate to continue the journey and to be her protector. You know what I'm saying? Or get
Okay.
into that next gen. Because listen, although I do kind of agree with Tyrone that that's where that bonding really kind of was at that, but that's when that decision was made. That I think that's when he realized that he really had real emotions towards Ellie. But I think it goes further back than that. I think when you look at the fear on his face, in the episode where Sam was killed, where the little boy was killed, and his brother was in it. If you remember how he like panicked to make sure that he protected Ellie in that situation when she was trapped in the little van and keeping all of the zombies off of her while she was running around and everything like that. It was, you could see the worry, and I mean, you could it depends on how you look at it, but I saw it more like worry. And from that point on, after that episode when we lost, we saw her, lose, um uh I think his name was Sam. I want to make sure that that was his name. I think it was little
Yeah,
Sam.
Sam and Henry.
Yeah, Sam and Henry. When you saw how she responded and how he reacted, it was more like at that point, I think he started developing these father, daughter type relationships with her at that point, like wanting to console her, but not knowing, his role or his position, you know what I'm saying, and not wanting to overstep. I think Joel has always been this complex dude ever since the death of his daughter, but he's always been this father first. We know he was that, like, that was his
Right.
thing. That was what, he said that's what drove him. Once he lost that, he didn't have a will to live. So now here it is with this opportunity again, and I just think that he's had feelings developed from the time Tess asked him to watch her. Like that first couple of hours, he tried to hate her, and she was just funny and witty, and all of the things that he at the end said his was like his daughter. You and my daughter would have got along because y'all were a lot alike, but maybe not so much alike. You know what I mean? Like I think
Girly
all of
girl.
those, yeah, all of that. So
Yeah, I think you got a point. Well, at the end of the day, I think that it's fair to say that the Last of Us, it delivered. Just a couple more questions, and we could talk Mando, then we can get the fuck about this bitch. But yeah,
yeah.
I got two questions. Number one, I pose this to the panel, and y'all just, I'm gonna put a picture up, and just hold up your thumb if you agree, thumbs down if you disagree, or meh in the middle if you don't have no feelings whatsoever. Thumbs up if you think it's gonna win any awards. Thumbs down if you don't think so, and meh in the middle if you can't really decide. I'm gonna take it down in three, two, one. Oh shit. Okay, y'all think it's gonna win awards? Tyrone is gonna win awards, bro?
Yeah, I think you'll have it. plenty of. It'll be nominated for plenty. I think Bella Ramsey is sort of right now a front runner for a best lead for like an Emmy.
Mm.
And Pedro Pascal did a great job. He might even get himself a nomination. But yeah, there's going to be some there's going to be some production design. There's going to be sound design. There's going to be all kinds of awards like that for that this show gets nominated for.
Okay, Tyrone, you agree?
I mean, that's Tyrone.
I mean, my bad time. I mean, y'all multiverse niggas look alike to me, man.
Hey, yo, I got 3 letters for you. HBO.
Okay.
That's it. That's all you need. That's all you need to know. It's an HBO production, man. And they always get nominated. It's facts. It's absolute facts.
All right. Well, I feel that it could go both ways, only because it's a video game. I haven't seen too many video game adaptations win any or get nominated for much of anything, and I don't know
on HBO.
Huh? What?
They haven't been good, and they haven't been on HBO.
That's it.
Fair enough. I mean, that's the only reason that it's not the show quality. It's my lack of faith in the Academy with being willing. You know how long it took for them to nominate a Marvel movie, or a Marvel or a comic book show for that. Like they just did not. They just refused to allow certain types of productions to get any type of recognition. So for me,
I would say though, look at the amount of nominations that House of the Dragon got, and that show was absolutely hot garbage.
That's what I was saying. I was just about to say that.
Yeah, that's
HBO.
Yeah.
Did it win anything though? Did it win anything?
Didn't. I thought it once. I have no idea. I can't remember for sure, but it got a lot of nominations.
I don't know if the Emmys happened yet or not. I don't know. I don't keep up with it, but I will say I know there's an Emmy for best guest spot on a show or whatever. The Bill and Frank episode.
Oh, word.
That episode.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I could see your point. If they do get some awards, I would hope they do. Again, me saying, man, isn't me saying the show was mid to take Steph's Gen Z word. It's more to say I don't have faith in the folks that nominate these type of productions. Last question on Last of Us. As you all know, the last scene, leading up to the last scene, there was our sis from Greenleaf. She had a little bit of trouble getting through to her boy Joel, which I'm frankly a little disappointed in her. Because you sit there and watch a motherfucker kill 50 motherfuckers, for you to go up and think you're gonna be the motherfucker to talk sense into him just doesn't seem like a plausible strategy. You know what I'm saying? But first of all, I'll ask Bad Ty, and then we'll see what Nolly says, and then Tyrone. Was it dumb for her to sit there and try to talk sense into him instead of just capping him and disarming him and taking Ellie and then saying, if you still want to fuck with me? Or did she really think, Bad Ty, that there was a possibility, because they had this little bonding moment right before she, because they both kind of had this Ellie nucleus between the two of them as like friends-in-law, do you think that she legitimately thought that Joel had some sense about him and could talk some sense into him?
Well, I think they had a longer relationship than that, and I don't really know the full extent of the relationship, but I know that they had a storied past. So I don't know what maybe if I felt like I knew you for 20 years and I feel like we pretty cool, I might try to talk you down. I don't know in that moment. In that moment, I don't feel like she felt like he was a threat to her. She knew that he would kill other people, but maybe not her because of their relationship. But it turned out to be a bad decision on her part. But
yeah. What say you, Nolly? By the way, did that happen like that in the game?
Sort of, yes.
Okay.
I wouldn't have tried.
I know, right?
I saw all that shit. Girl, I'd be hiding. What? You want me to talk to him?
up close. You know what I'm saying?
That's like in John Wick when they're like, "Oh, he's excommunicado. Everyone can go after him." I wouldn't. Have y'all seen his work? You just saw him do all that, and you gonna try and go after him?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I don't think I could. Tyrone, what you think, bro?
Yeah, no, that was definitely one of those suspend your disbelief kind of moments because they made so many bad choices. Like, why wouldn't you bind him when he was unconscious? Like, you're gonna wake him up and tell him you're gonna kill this girl and expect him to just cool with it. Like, and then, or like, you know, if it was gonna be a problem, why not have a big meeting before and talk about it? And like, nobody thought to ask Ellie how she felt about the whole situation. So, you know, there are a lot of stuff where I was just like, I'm just gonna ignore this and just enjoy the show. But yeah, she not a very good tactician. The way she approached that, very dumb.
Well, I mean, she did try to reason with him, and I think the point that she made that was the most viable was, what would she want? What would Ellie want? And I think for a split
But
second,
nobody asked her though. That's the thing. They could have asked her what she wanted.
That's true. That's true. Because you think that if they had a meeting and she was like, Joel, this is what I want. I want to say this is my purpose. You know, I'm cool with it. You know, because Ty in the last episode in our pre-recorded session, which airs tomorrow for those of y'all watching on live, and if you happen to be watching on the replay, go watch the other video starring Jill Kimmel, YouTube preferably. But the point that she made was, listen, this is my purpose, and so when she says, "Yo, what would Ellie want?" I think in his head he thought, well, that's true, but fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? Fuck all that. This is my girl. Fuck you. And so that's how it ends. But did Marlene deserve to die, Tyrone?
I don't think she deserved to die. I think she put herself in that position. But I don't think she deserved to die.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
I think
okay.
like I would have liked for them to have had a conversation with Ellie and then everything shake out exactly the way it did anyway. You know what I mean? Like Joel decides, fuck it, I don't care what Ellie thinks. I'm trying to move this forward.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he rescues her while she's unconscious or whatever. That's what I would have liked to have seen happen. But I still think it was great. But yeah, I was like, y'all didn't think to ask her, like not even once. She's like 15 years old.
Ty, well, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I got a real question, right? So they had power in that building, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, they must have to operate, because that's what he said when he walked in. He's like, "Do we have enough power?"
Yeah, right. Yeah. So the air must not work, because every time I see Marlene, she's sweating like a motherfucker. Every time I see her, she got it like all of it. Like, look, see what I'm saying? Is it like
moisturized?
Is it like is that good moisture?
Really? Are you serious?
When she had the gun in the basement, she was sweating. I was like, oh man.
I see that. Listen, that's a 7-step skincare routine right there.
She is moisturized.
That is moisture.
They ain't got no Jergens, no oil of Olay.
They got eye cream. They got all this stuff.
No cocoa butter for the mother. All right, last question, and then a couple Mando points, and let's get the fuck out of here, man, before our stomachs touch our backs. The final conversation where Ellie asks, I mean, Ellie's not no dumbass chick, you know, excuse the phrase chick, but she ain't no dumbass little motherfucker, goddamn. She woke up in that car and she was like, okay, what the fuck? What happened? Where are we going? And then Joel gives the most wackest, completely incredibly unconceivable, like non-believable story. You know, when you gotta lie twice, it's too much. You know what I'm saying? Like when you gotta lie twice, he's like, oh yeah, you know, there's a whole bunch of people like you, no big deal, you know, so. And he's like, all right, cool. And then he's like, well, what happened? Oh, Raiders came for the hidden hospital with the over superly armed army of the Fireflies headquarters. For what? The ones that snuck up on us after we just played footsie with Jeffrey the Toys R Us giraffe and shit, and that's that's what I think. That's what gave it away was like Raiders, and you and I are walking away scot free in a Volvo, headed all the way to fuck to a place that you wanted to go anyway. I think that made it a little less credible for him. So Nolly, my question for you is, why is he lying? What's really his fear of telling her the truth? What does he think is going to happen? Is he going to? I mean, I'll let you answer. Just what is the purpose of Joel feeling like he has to lie to little Ellie?
I think he's worried that, like Tyrone said, nobody talked to her. No one gave her a fucking choice. So who's to say that she wouldn't be upset with the choice he made for her?
Mm,
Like she knows that they were depending on her to save technically, the entire human race. And so that's a lot of fucking pressure. And so for that to no longer be an option, she might be upset with what he did, especially since he took out most of the fucking fireflies. So it's
right.
like, maybe he was worried about what her reaction would be.
And what would I mean? How could that? How is that really? I mean, what's she gonna do then? I mean, he was already about to leave her.
That's true.
She was alive still. All he was doing was saving her so that she didn't get killed. What's the worst that can happen? She leaves him. She thinks he's a liar, disgusting, and then he ends up going to Montana by himself, which he was about to do anyway. Tyrone, I don't understand the logic. What's the purpose of lying to Ellie?
I think the reason why it was such a poorly crafted lie and so lazy is that he didn't really care what she thought about that. It was just like, I'll tell you enough to give you an out. If you want to hang out, if you want to do this thing and then keep moving forward, here's the cover story. Here's what you can tell yourself to make yourself feel okay about this. And I guess maybe, we'll see in season 2 whether or not that's enough, to let that relationship survive. But I think once he saved her life, he was like, whatever happens here is whatever happens. But I needed to make that decision. And we'll see what she says after.
Well, bad tie. Before we wrap this, what I don't understand is like in my mind, and kudos to the writers because I like this. I think that the writers had this very conversation in mind when they wrote this. They were like, this will get them talking, and I think that's the purpose. And so it's good story. So I'm not tripping. I like the fact that it happened that way, and I like the fact we can talk about it. But in my head, though, bad tie, I think the truth would have worked just fine. And I think that season 2 is going to reveal that he goes halfway through the season and she ends up finding out the truth and ends up being mad as fuck at it. Okay, all right. Nolly's giving no, that's not what's going to happen. Okay, well, we'll leave that alone. But Ty, yeah, look at her face. Yeah. Thank you for not spoiling. Appreciate it. But Ty, the truth is better than this lie. Like, it's almost like, if you got beat up at school, and you got sent home, and instead of telling your mom that you got beat up, what I'm saying, you tell her that you got caught skipping class. It's like, well, you getting beat up actually would work better, than you telling the lie that you skipped class because maybe you're afraid of how she might react. Unless you got one of the mamas, if you get beat up, then then you got to fight me and who you got beat up with. So why not just tell the truth, bro? Isn't the truth better? I mean, do you think Ellie, if she heard, oh shit, babe, my bad, I had to go and kill all the motherfuckers because they took you into surgery so they could kill you. They was about to take your brain out. They didn't tell you, but that's what actually happened. They were about to fucking kill you, and they didn't tell you. And look, the shit that was about to happen with them, there's a whole world out there. Who's to know whether or not that's the only person that has access? And there's other Fireflies out there too. Why not tell them the truth, Ty?
In that scenario you gave, I'm analogy with blood, and in this scenario, there is no blood ties. So you don't. He doesn't have the he didn't have the luxury of knowing Ellie her entire life or how she would react or what sparks her or what doesn't. He's just reacting in that moment, and his worst fear in that moment is the same fear that caused him to kill a whole hospital full of people. Is he does not want to lose Ellie. Right now, he has lost his daughter. She is the closest thing to his daughter. She reminds him of his daughter, and
Right.
he has developed an attachment. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but two episodes back,
Mm.
he used a term of endearment with her that he had not used with her the entire time, but he used with his daughter all the time, and that was baby girl.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
started calling her baby girl. He did it. He did it in the last episode when she came running out of the building. I got you, baby girl. And then he did it. He did it again in this episode, like baby, like that baby girl stuff. So he's now like functioning at, I know he knows that she's not his daughter, but she's his daughter. You get
Right,
what I'm
right.
saying? Like at this
Yeah.
point. So that's why he didn't tell her, because
Okay,
he's afraid
that makes sense.
he'll lose her, and that's the biggest thing he's
Actually makes
afraid of
sense.
right now at this
That
point.
makes so much
You don't
sense.
kill that many people and go through all of that stuff and then lie like that without blinking, because it's anything other than the fact that you don't want to lose this right now. You did too much to gain this. You're not trying to lose her, and you're not going to lose her, even if she tries to go against it. You're not going to let her.
That is a great point. I mean, even though I could argue, well, I thought the only purpose was just to save her. I think that what you've illustrated is no. I think that it's got that last moment in which he learned that she wasn't going to exist anymore. He realized, like Bill, and I keep forgetting his boyfriend's name,
Frank.
Frank. Bill and Frank. She is now become his purpose. She's now become his purpose.
Yeah, she was his
So
purpose before that, Vinny. Like when they were out there with the giraffe, and he told her, he said, "Hey, we don't have to keep going." Like he told her right then, we don't have to keep going this way. We could just go somewhere. We could, me and you, we could just live and thrive and all of that. He had made the decision right there in that moment. That moment when she's petting the giraffe, he's looking at her in that moment as a father would look at his child experiencing something for the first time.
wow.
Like that's what it was. Their relationship at that moment when they walk through that door and he says to her, "Yo, like let's not go there. Let's you know what? Let's just, the fireflies. Let's go. Look, they'll figure it out." This is him making that decision right there to not let her go. So when he got knocked out, that decision didn't change. It just got refortified when they told him, "You can't have what you want." And he's like, "Oh, I don't think you understand. I'll kill everybody in here."
Right.
And no, you won't kill everybody. No, I'm serious. Everybody's got to go. The librarian, the doorman, the security guard who just got his coffee break. Everybody in here is going to get a bullet before the night is over. And he he did what he said he was going to do.
Well said. Hey, good points. Way to bring it home, man. Well, listen, we'll be tuning in. I did think real quick, I'll show this quick flyer. It's fascinating that picture. They really had me convinced that this was like legit. It's somewhere where there was a bunch of grass. Turns out it was like blue screen, the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
It was not even like any grass, any vegetation. It was in a whole ass CGI. So I hope you're paying attention, whoever that is that directed Ant-Man 3. No disrespect, to Kang, but god damn it, man, this is what real CGI looks like. Let's talk Mando real quick and get on up out of here. Shout out to Jill Kimmel once again for putting us on to the fact that her nephew is still level-headed and she's his favorite aunt because she lets him curse. So we get to see Mando come back in action. And so I think you haven't seen this episode, Ty, but thanks for not minding the spoilers. But I'm not surprised that Nolly and Tyrone like this episode because it's so fucking Andorian. It's so fucking Rebel Empire Return of the.
It's not.
Yeah, it was all about the whole readaptation. There was no. See, Mandalorian is give me a saber, let me slice somebody up. Give me your fucking give me some shit. Let me, it was the first 3 minutes, the first 8 minutes was Mandalorian. and that was it. The rest of the episode, even the last little part where they got Mandalorian back into the episode, it was still Andorian because it's like setup shit. And it was all callback to the Empire, all rehab from folks who actually wasn't in the Empire. Tyrone, I could see it in your face. You ate that shit up, bro. Why you like it so much?
I like good story, and I like for things to matter. So this was the first episode in the season that actually mattered, and has us like on somewhat of a path. Everything else before was just tying up loose ends on Book of Boba Fett shit and stuff that we already knew. So I was happy to see it. I mean, we got a really cool dogfight chase scene too. I mean, that's always fun to see. It was done really well. It looked really great. But yeah, no, the story. I actually. Now for the first time in this third season of The Mandalorian, I'm like, okay, I think I might see what this season is going to be about. And I'm like, okay, so we're going somewhere now. Whereas before, just didn't feel like we were going anywhere. Just felt like we were just doing stuff just to do it.
Such a hater. Anyway, Nolly, you feel the same?
Yeah.
That hill.
Listen,
I dubbed the king and queen of the hill. God damn it, you know what I'm saying?
It's funny because in any of my what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think straight right now. Any of my talk about this season 3 of Mandalorian, I have not mentioned Andor once. Y'all have mentioned Andor a bunch. I haven't mentioned it once. I have not judged it against Andor at all.
Right. Well, the reason why I do it is because we did have that sparring session back then when we had our debate over which show was better. So when I hear you criticize The Mandalorian, the first thing I think is, well, it's probably because it doesn't live up to your standard of Andor. So I kind of put Andor as like your set of standards. So that's the only reason.
No, I haven't at any point compared it to Andor's, and as far as whether or not I think but even when I'm watching it, I'm not like, is this going to be as good as Andor? No, like, and I'm not just talking shit. I'm just saying, like, I only expected it to be Mandalorian. That's all I wanted it to ever be, and this felt more like, okay, we're doing Mandalorian stuff now. Now we're getting into actual Mandalorian stories. Bo-Katan is being accepted by her people again. How is this going to work out? That's an interesting thing to happen. Din Djarin is redeemed. Go take it away, Nolly.
I totally agree, because Bo-Katan has such a rich history in Star Wars. Like she was at the forefront of the Civil War of Mandalore. So to see her start on a potential redemption arc, amazing. And also, I know that they said that they wanted Mandalorian to kind of be like the MCU of Star Wars. So it's cool to see them bring in little bits and pieces from other Star Wars stories into Mandalorian. So that's why I appreciated the little segue into the scientists, and it's leading up to potential, like, this is how we got Snoke and the Palpatine clones. Like, it's gonna connect dots, which is cool to see, like a whole bigger picture. But the episode wasn't terrible. Also, can we like big up Grogu trying to say this is the way? Like, the cutest little thing. I was like, no, he didn't. But also did not appreciate how none of the Mandalorians said this is the way after she atoned Bo-Katan. I was like, well, y'all not gonna say that.
Yo, you're starting to give me heavy Bo-Katan stand vibes. Like,
I think it's a bias thing. I love Katie Sackhoff because one of my most favorite sci-fi series is Battlestar Galactica, and I literally almost named my daughter after Cara Thrace. Like, I love her, and then I love Bo-Katan. Star Wars Rebels was great. I loved Bo-Katan. So I know she's had like a hard history and shit, and with the whole Darksaber and stuff up in the air, I want to see where they're going with her story.
I will say I am a little more interested in the Kryze family now. I do see that they have established a level of interest that I didn't know existed with the whole family of the Kryze, with their history on the planet of Mandalore, with her kind of being like a member of royalty.
Yeah.
I got a feeling if Steph was into this, and if Steph was here, she'd be like, she's an entitled white chick. Why do we give a fuck? You know what I'm saying? She has a whole palace to herself, and she just sits there with her leg propped up like, bitch, go bring me my tea, my martini or whatever. So to channel my inner Steph real quick, I want to shout her out. But I could see the allure to Bo-Katan being a strong woman character that holds it down, that don't give a fuck, that's like, yo, you still do that helmet shit? My God, bro,
Mhm.
that shit's old as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, yo, we're freaking free now. Like, get the fuck out of here with that helmet shit, bro. Like,
I'm also like super curious because she did mention that she was the last of her clan. So like, okay, so what
yeah.
happened to the
What
rest of
happened?
them over the
And
last
you,
couple of years between Star Wars Rebels and now? Like, I
yeah.
need story.
Well, she did drop that line after they saw the mythosaur and they were
Mhm.
walking out from Lake Minnetonka,
Why she
and
didn't tell them about the mythosaur?
that is weird. Why didn't she? What? There's something there, right? There's
Yeah,
some
'cause,
lore.
I mean, first it's a mythosaur. So if you say you saw it, I'm gonna be like, it's a myth. I don't know what you're talking about. But like, is she gonna wait to talk to the armor 1-on-1 and be like, I saw the mythosaur? Like, what's going on? Why you didn't say nothing?
Yeah, that was strange. Yeah, what's up with the secrets? Like, why the Mando and these secrets? Yo, I
F3
don't get
heard
it,
about
man.
it and he didn't see nothing. He too busy drowning. Bitch made
That's
that
what I
whole
mean.
other last episode. So
Even though he could seal his helmet to be
right, like
airtight, but I guess he can't, like he's gonna drown. But
he was
who
down
knows?
bad the
Whatever.
whole episode. I was like, babe.
And another thing, I mean, you brought up a good point just now. If they can seal their helmet, then why the fucking big deal about making whether or not Mandalore's
It's
gas?
flickering. Thank you.
Exactly.
You
Thank you. That was my argument for the first episode. Why are we doing any of this? Like
yeah, like
none of this meant. Then they
what
were
was
like episode 3. They're like, oh yeah, that was all bullshit.
well, I mean, I think I still stand for that. I still stand for IG-11. I still think that he did not want to go. He's not a he's not a bot guy. He doesn't fuck with droids. He's like Indiana Jones with snakes. I don't really fuck with him, but here's one that I can fuck with. That yeah, maybe I can seal my helmet, but why do I have to go in and kill all these three-eyed beasts when I can just send in IG-11, who's a whole hard ass thug, and just murk the shit out of him? Yeah,
Well, as
does it
far as they
fuck
knew,
up?
there's nothing living on that planet because it had been completely poisoned. And the atmosphere was poisonous, so nothing living on the planet. He could have just gone there the whole time and with a sealed helmet and been okay, apparently. And then he
But
just went with a random droid and was like, "Okay, you go over there. Don't test the air right here because this is the good air. Go a little bit further. Test the air over there because that's the poison air." And then the droid disappears. He's like, "Okay, well, guess I got to go outside now." The whole fucking time. The whole time. So yeah, like that's why I'm like, okay, this is the first decent episode of this season
it's the
because it's
good
the only
air.
one that makes goddamn sense.
Yeah, he sent R5 to his death, yo, and R5 just disappeared off of that shit. And he's like, all right, I guess I gotta go. And he went right out. I'm just gonna seal my helmet. It's like, but I think here's what I'll say about that. And I know you're gonna disagree, and I'm not trying to convince you, but I think that what we're looking at, what the biggest difference between Bo and Mando is obviously the Children of the Light and the impact that whole Mandalorian
Indoctrination.
clique has over Din Djarin's mentality. So in my mind, if the armorer says, "Yo, that shit's fucked up, don't go down there," even though he has his doubts in his mind, he's kind of forced to reckon with the Kree. I mean, when this motherfucker actually started walking into the Lake Minnetonka, he was freaking saying, "I will, I pledge to the ancestors, and will, in my heart and heart." So, like, he's still like doing all that religious shit, and so something in his head, even though he is a bit of an agnostic, is like, well, what if they write about this shit? These are the motherfuckers that I live and die by. You saw how he started shaking when he's like, how can I forget? How can I atone? You know what I'm saying? And then, so I mean, I'll say that, but yeah, that was some dumb shit. I'm gonna say it. It was dumb. The motherfucker went and immediately hopped out. Just hopped right out within 5 minutes. Just hop, what I'm saying? Pull up on the stick and just bam, there he is. So I thought that was fascinating. Another thing that I thought was fascinating was how they blew Bo-Katan shit the fuck up, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Who sent them?
Like, for real, like, what's going on? They
Yes.
blew that shit the fuck up. All right, so we'll sit on that. I think that's gonna come back because, I mean, first she's like sitting on the highest hill in that bitch. But to talk about the other aspect, and then we'll wrap. The whole backstory with the scientist, and first of all, one time for Coruscant. Coruscant to me is like Gotham City. It's like a character. It's like Wakanda, right? When I see Coruscant, I'm like, oh,
You know what it reminded me of?
Coruscant.
It reminded me of like Final Fantasy VII. Like
Oh
the
shit!
cityscape. I was like, is my boyfriend and I
Yeah,
like, I'm giving Final Fantasy vibes. This shit is
yeah,
nice,
yeah. You play Final Fantasy all the way through?
baby. Born and raised on Final
You a
Fantasy. Let's
real
go.
one. You a real reader. If you can play, that's the ones like sins new different sins I watch somebody role part play RPGs, you know what I'm saying? I'm more of a but Coruscant is a whole city in itself. I love the fucking depiction of Coruscant. I love how they showed a peak of a mountain so that there is a surface that exists. It's not like the Sky
Mhm.
City in Empire Strikes Back where everything's hovering and shit, you know what I'm saying? It's a city where things are built from the surface, which is crazy, you know what I'm saying? You just can't see the surface. So the old boy's whole journey back into rehabilitation, the whole concept of former Empire employees just sitting and talking about the cookies and crackers that they used to eat on break and shit, like that shit was kind of cool. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, all right, that's cool. But then it got weird, and the character that we saw in Ant-Man, I forget her name, but this is the chick. This is the young lady that was in Ant-Man, right? She was in
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Katie O'Brien. So she like basically plays the role of Satan in the Garden of Eden and shit. And she's like, "Yeah, man, go ahead, get your little shit." You know what I'm saying, man? Go get your shit. Talk your shit. Don't walk it. I'll go with you. I'll show
Y'all
you where
was
to go.
just from her. The minute the biscuits showed up, I said, "Is that bitch? We can't
Yeah, she's playing in from the start. Honey Pot.
What-
trust nobody."
So did they just need the shit that he was able to find, or was they trying to frame him, Tyrone? Like, what was the whole purpose of the deception? What's really going on?
So we don't know for sure yet. My prediction is that she is a double agent. She's still very much involved with the Empire. Whatever, wherever that squadron of TIE fighters and interceptors and bombers came from, the same people that are, that are her handlers. But she did that in order to gain trust within the New Republic, so she could just kind of move around, and because they're just leaving her in rooms now, just like, okay, yeah, you do what you want to do. That's my prediction.
Shit. All right. I guess I could see that, man. I feel like old boy got dealt a bad hand, man. Like she literally, like the same reason why motherfuckers is mad at the Simba post right now that we have on Instagram. By the way, follow us on Instagram. If you're not, you ain't shit. No, I'm just playing, but you ain't shit. But go ahead, follow us because you ain't shit. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. I ain't shit. It's my bad. The fucking the Instagram post that we have about. Come on, man. Did I take it off yet? Okay. God damn it. I see one thing on one computer and something else on the okay, there it is. The one thing that like some folks is mad at because when Omar said, yo, Simba is a bad prince, they're like, well, he was manipulated by Scar. That was his uncle. And that's kind of how I feel is happening with this episode. Like there's a manipulation factor where he's kind of like, look, I just want to get in, get out, get on with my life. I don't want no problems. Like, can we just live and let live? And she's like, why do that? Do what you love. And then she plants that seed of doubt, which is exactly what, if you believe in, in the Bible, Satan did with Eve. It's like, yo, who told you that you was gonna die? He said you was gonna die if you ate the fruit. Well, he just scared that you're gonna have knowledge and you're gonna know as much as him. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, you know what? You're right. And the same thing happened. She's like, yeah, if that's what you want to do, fuck that shit, man. Do that shit, man. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Man, he was like, all right, fine. And he got wrapped the fuck up.
Yep.
So I don't know. I hope, because remember, this is the guy who was about to clone Grogu, right? This is what he was fucking with Moff Gideon. And he was about to basically make a bunch of little baby Grogus who, because they know how special little man is. And they fucked around and found out because Mando came, and just like he fell in love with Ellie, he fucked around and fell in love with little Grogu. And now they like tight side by side, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how it is. So I guess I'm interested now that we officially have not one but two official villains of this show. We've got Swamp Thing and we've got Baby Girl right here. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that's a little different from the Andor show where everybody has like some sort of everybody has a story. You know, like you can almost root for the bad guy. You know, the dude that drinks the blue milk with his grandma and shit, and even the lady who gets the promotion. You're like, oh damn, they're shitting on her. Like, look at this patriarchy of men in this circle that won't give this young lady a chance. You know, like everybody has something that they can be sympathized with. And this one is like, no, this is a cold-hearted bitch. You know, she tried old boy, she set him up, and the other one is like there's this pirate who's like coming after him, you know what I'm saying? And so I think I like the fact that Mandalorian has established what we've started to lose in Marvel and shit is villains that are just purposeless, non-redemptive, not unredemptive villains. And well, you didn't see it bad time, but even still, isn't that what you were asking for? You're like, when are we gonna get a villain? Like, we just want a villain, like a bad somebody you don't want to root for. I mean, you almost just want him to be a evil motherfucker who just is out to just be an evil motherfucker.
Yeah, I need some consistency. You know, that's all. I don't want you to ever pull it at our heartstrings or nothing. I want to consistently hate you from the very beginning to the very end. You know what? The last real villain was Joffrey. Yo, that was the last real bad. Real talk. The last real villain was Joffrey. We hated him from the very beginning
so satisfying.
to the very end. There was never any wavering against anybody in America. We all hated him at the same time. And
we have never been more unified as a country.
Oh my God.
Yes.
We all rejoice and together.
Yeah.
I think he got what he got. Yeah, that's the last real villain. Shout out to Joffrey.
Shout out to Joffrey. Fuck Joffrey. Puss ass.
Joffrey was the last real villain. Put some respect on his name.
Yeah. All right, it is what it is. Well, listen, man, I think we came and we saw. We definitely dealt them a blow. Thank everybody for pulling up to the live broadcast. If you're watching us live, make sure you tune in to our show tomorrow, first thing in the morning at 10 a.m., where we have our interview with Jill Kimmel, who's doing her own thing. You know, she's got some folks in her family that some of you may have heard of. She's got friends that you may have seen her with before. So yeah, she had a lot of interesting things to say. One of which was that her nephew, who is starring in The Mandalorian, or at least starred in Mandalorian and Boba Fett in one episode, the most famous out of all of them, man. But hey, I don't know. Some would say there are different folks in the family that are famous as well. But tune on into that and make sure y'all come on to the Instagram page, subscribe to the YouTube, follow us on Twitter, please. I'm stuck at 93 followers. I don't know what the fuck is going on Twitter. Like, everywhere else is giving me love, but motherfuckers will like, share, and tweet, but they will not hit that follow button on Twitter. So all we want is 100. I just want 100. That's all, man. And then after that, you can do what you want to do. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is. But anyway, go ahead and let that geek flag fly and all that good jazz and yeah, you know, blah blah blah. And tune into the show tomorrow and tune out to the next show next week. See ya. Peace.
Hey guys, I love the new Blurred Order. You should too.
Whoa.